Hey everybody, OK Fixer inside the 69. We're going to work on the front of the car now that we've worked on the back. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the windshield out. I need to pull that mirror off there too. I need to get another mirror. I'll just leave it on there for right now. I was looking at it and it's just, oh sorry, oh no, oh. It's just crunchy. Look at this. Oh, savage. Look at that. It's broken also, so. The day-night mirrors, I don't know if that's a day-night mirror. Is it a day-night? Yeah, the day-night mirrors, you think, well, you can just cut yourself a piece of glass for them, but you can't because it's, the day-night mirrors are wedged-shaped mirrors. So, anyways. Have to get another mirror. We're going to cut the windshield out, change our steering column. We did a little number on the steering column, and when you now have keys, pull the glove box out, the front plenum, the airbox, and the transmission, wiper transmission, and do some light shenanigans. So all that can be done so I can put a hood on, and got to put the vents in. I got to put a windshield in it anyways. Can't drive it with a broken glass. It has to appear to be a reasonable car, so I don't get pulled over. Anyways, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do the windshield, and what I'm going to do is, a lot of people will kick these out, or when they're replacing the rubber, they'll cut the rubber out from the outside and stuff like that. So I'll show you the way I'm going to do it. And the way I'm going to do it is this way, and there's a reason for this. I'm going to start like at this top corner, and I'm going to pull it back. I'm going to catch it with a razor blade, and I'm going to cut this lip all the way off. Now, the reason why I don't want to do up here is because I want the windshield to come out this way. And the reason why I want it to come out this way is because I don't want to pull the headliner off. I'm just going to gently pull it out. Then, when you have this thing all cut out, you can just set it aside, and your chrome's still there, albeit my chrome's bad. And I don't want to kick this windshield out because it's broken, but I'm still going to save it in the event that I get another bug, or I know somebody has another one. You know, we can fudge a windshield in it so that it doesn't get rain in it or something. So, you know, all these parts you can save, all this stuff. I guess you can save it to doomsday, but yeah. Well, anyways, lots of work to do. So let's get at it with the razor blade on that rubber. Can't see this because kind of dark in here, but I have this pulled back a little bit. You can pull it back while your other hand is on the razor blade. You can use a widget if you want to avoid cutting yourself, but we're going to go all the way down and then probably start up here again and come back down again and just kind of push it out this way. That way it can kind of slide down off that headliner. It won't booger it up. You can use one of these jobs too. Whoops. Whoops. There she is. Fold the wipers out of the way and pull that down. I'm going to have to take these wipers off. They're set with 8mm screws right down there. And nice, they're original, not aftermarket ones. But we can kind of... come on, you. There she is. And it comes off without pulling the headliner down. I can't do this with one hand, so let me get that out of there. But these wipers, they're pointing this way, so I got to make sure and put them back on the same way, because I think the old cars, the wipers are like this. So there's a change there. I can't remember when, 65 maybe. Those come off with a 6mm. You loosen it up. You have to do a lot of shenanigans in order to get them off. And of course, the original wiper blade is shot. But you know, here's the deal: is I think this is the could be the original wiper blades. So I don't know if somebody's looking for, you know, originality. You can put a blade in that and use it over, clean it up. I'm not going to. I'm just going to put throwaways in. Anyways, our pinch weld is very nice. Very nice. You got drain holes. We'll clean that up and shoot some clear on it before we put our windshield in. So let's take those off, and we'll take our nuts off, and we'll save all them parts. These just clip into that either side. And then there's a bolt here. You take the bolt off, and this one probably has got some sort of, that's going up in there. So I'll have to take that out. I've got a new rubber gasket for this also. And I've got a new hose for the drain hose. New hoses for all that too. So, but I noticed down here there's like somebody tried to change the bulbs, and they just pulled the insides out of them, but I've got a whole bunch of those, so we'll go through those and fix that. Fix anything that looks suspicious, and probably the wiring will be okay. Okay, lots more shenanigans. I'm going to take that bolt out and that bolt out because I think one of the gears is stripped on that. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. So I have to take that out, and while I was doing that, I don't know if you can see this, but the top has come off of the switch that goes to the flashers. So I'll have to look at that and fix it. Don't know. Get another one. Don't know. Maybe we can fix that. I don't know. So we'll have to take this out also. The adjustments, and there's little flappers in here too. The little they're just disintegrated, just turned to dust. I'll have to buy a pair of those on Wolfsburg. So of course I've got another glove box. Oh, and the washer deal, I'll have to buy one of those too because it's lost its balls. No pun intended. Okay, I've taken the radio out. I think there probably was another bolt on the back. The only thing that was holding it in was the yeah, and I don't think that's right. Then I took the plenum out. The switch, the contacts were all in place. It's a miracle, so I don't have to figure it out. Take photographs of this stuff. Take photographs of your wires, how they go on there. I'm going to clean that up, and I'm going to take photographs, pull that off, lubricate it, put it back together, and kind of peen it back over again. It'll probably work just fine. Let's see, what else was I going to do? Oh, I need to open up that Radidio right there and see what's going on there. It will need new washer hose, probably. Maybe not. Oh, okay. I'm just going to put a new schnozzle on it and call it good. Got to take that wiper motor out yet. Still coming along, little by little. Okay. I'm going to quit for the night while I'm ahead. And I'm going to show you something I figured out here. I've lubricated these cables, and I've got this thing to work, and it's just really schlocky. This one works pretty well. This one works, but you got to kind of fidget with it in order to make it move back and forth. I think I've taken this clip off. I've taken this clip off, and we'll take this wire off and take this out of the way, and we'll move this all the way out of there. And what I'll do is I'll build this up with a little JB weld underneath there and grind it down just so it's a millimeter higher, so it pushes it up into that gear a little more. Probably work a little better. And we'll put that back together. This thing had, I turned it upside down and it was just full of dirt. Just come all out of there, and I was like, oh great, why didn't I have a trash can underneath it? So yeah, beware. Okay, coming right along. Well, the first thing I'm going to work on is this little transmission setup for the air box. So these two little clips come off. If you see this, I can only do this with one hand. So this little clip comes off like this. Then this, the cable kind of flips up like this, and it comes off of there, just slides off there. So we're going to take both of those off there, and we're going to look at how wore out these are and see if we can't fix that somehow. I think what's happening is when you put this in a bind, it slips out of the gear, not necessarily up, but it slips sideways ever so slightly. It's schlocky. It's like it's got a lot of slack in it. See that? And this side is the same way. It's got a lot of slop in it too. But you're probably looking, I can get a 4/1000 feeler gauge in there easily, probably even more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a 4/1000 feeler gauge. I've got this set, and I've got these sets too. So you know, if I use one of the feeler gauges and 4 isn't the one I would use a 6 and an 8. You know, well, unless I'm setting valves for, I think it's 2000s for a Honda. Might be different, but I'm going to use that 4, and I'm going to cut it in half, and I'll have 2 shims, or maybe 1, I don't know, maybe just 1 down there, and I'll bend it over on either side, and kind of it'll rest up underneath there, and I'll see if I can't shim this up with this so it doesn't come out as far, and we'll see what happens, see if it works. What I did is I took my propane torch. First thing, I bent these little tabs down, and I scrolled these out right here. Zip, you know, screwed them right out, all right? And then I put a piece of, can't find it where it went. Oh, I put this rack, whatever you have. You got whatever you have there. I just happen to have some staples on my desk here, so I was doing a little other side project. Anyways, I put those in there to keep that from getting burnt, the little gear there. And I took my my propane torch, and I just heated this up, and then I bent it down just a little bit, and then I put this back in there, and it kept all the slop out of it. You just can't cut and bend this stuff because it's spring steel, and it's just, you can't shim it up, but you can bend that back down so it works. So I've got this working pretty good now, and I'm going to grease everything up, put our cables back on, and we should be done. Okay, next I'm gonna take a picture of that. It's the top of that switch. I'm gonna pull the wires off of it. Okay, by some sort of absolute miracle, these little copper contacts have not came out. They have not. The little springs have not jumped out of there, and it's a giant mess. And there is a little bounce there. And what we're going to do is we're going to gently put this on there, and if you can see, it has a little bit of spring to it right there, And you can see where it's been peened over, and it either broke, the plastic broke or something. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to put that together, and it's most important that you put it together first so that no sealant gets down in the works of this. Put it together first, and then we're going to seal it up with some JB weld. So I'm pretty sure that'll work. That'll work just fine. You know, it's the only thing that is those little deals. Well, you can just peen them over more. That's pot metal, and don't know. And yeah, did that with the light switch on the 67, so I should be able to. But absolute fantastic miracle that these little copper pieces, these little fidgety bits in there, have not come out. I don't know. It was some alignment of the stars or something. So let's get that glued together. I'll let that set overnight. Alright, I want to pull my messed up, tore up glove box out. It's got an 8mm screw underneath the bottom there, and this flips up and it comes out of there. And then we can pull this bolt off here, and we're going to just drop our wiper, see if we can just kind of drop it down out of there. And we drop it down out of there, we'll be able to get to this hose and this piece, pull that piece out of there so it'll come out of the dash. But the wiper, we're just going to take the cap off, and if I can, let me think how that works again. I can't remember. I'm going to try. What I'm trying to do is clean it out and grease it, because that's all that needs to be done. So I don't really want to go into taking it all out, taking the wires off and stuff, but we're going to try doing that. Okay. I have taken the wiper whole system out. I took some pictures of the wiring on it. It's pretty self-explanatory how it comes out. You know, the nuts come off. I put a little spray on the rubbers, and it kind of slipped out pretty easy. You kind of got to give it a little twist, and she'll come right out of there. We're going to take this portion off of this, and so it has to only go one way. Only go one way. That does. So let's see here. This ought to go flying. Oh no, stuck it right in my finger. That's nice. That's what's left of a warpy washer. And yeah, okay. Oh, look at that. Looks a little wore out. She'll go again though. Okay. And grease all this stuff too. Let's see here. How is that going to come off of there? I see, that's going to get loosened up. So we got 8mm right here. Okay. I'm going to loosen this nut up, and the thing should slide off. Once you take that bolt out, it should slide out that hole. So we'll fast. I had to really finagle this around and move the nut back and forth in order to get this off there, but I did. This is extra super stiff. There it is. But what we're going to do is we're going to take these clips off, pull these out, and grease these shafts, put them back in, and grease these also. And when we put it all back together, it should be just really nice and smooth. I couldn't take them apart, but I sprayed them really good, and they move really well. Put a little grease on that. I hope that's right. Okay, so you get the idea. We're going to put this back together after we get it all greased. This slides up underneath these contacts right here, like that. And here's the stuff you got to get rid of, because it's like syrup, and we're going to clean all the syrup off of there. All the it's not even grease, it's like tar. But we'll grease everything all up with some new grease. It'll run like brand new. Let's hook it up and see if it works. I've mounted my wiper motor up in there and plugged all the wires in as per my photograph. And logic dictates it's this green wire because it comes down to the fuse box that is the power. It's the only wire coming off of the wiper switch. So any wire, of course, going to the fuse box is going to be hot. It's going to go up into the switch, and then when you click the switch on, it goes and tells the wiper motor this or that. So one side is fast and one side is slow. Let me I'll show you. And of course I have it grounded, and just for giggles I took the a ground wire also, so where it was just floating around in there. The brown one, it's about 12 feet long and it goes all over the place in grounds, but it just needs to be ground. So I just put a quick little deal on there, and it does indeed work. But It doesn't have 2 speeds, just 1 speed. And it will not return. Okay, what are you going to do? Alright, well, what I'm going to do is, that's off, that's on, that's fast. And then it should return, but it doesn't. And that's back on, and then it's on off. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in and I'm going to probe some of those wires, and it's either going to be, there's the black one's going to be positive, the brown is going to be of course ground, and then these two, the yellow and black and purple and black, are going to be either slow speed or fast speed. So if I put a meter on that or a light on that, I should get a light on both of them when I click the switch slow, or when I click the switch fast, I should get light on that. If I get light on both of those, that tells me that the switch is good and I need to get back into that motor, because there's probably something polluting that ring and those little contacts on there. We'll have to have a look in that, see how that works. It's a little bit different than the 67, because the 67 has like a little set of points in it that return it back. This has a ring, so it's slightly different. So we'll get into that, and if it is actually that, well, I have to pull that wiper motor back out of there anyways, because this piece goes in there. So what I'm going to do, it's getting kind of late, I'm going to put a meter on that, see that that switch works. It probably does. And then I'm going to go inside and study a schematic of that motor online and have a look at it. And it's probably just the contacts need to be cleaned, I'm thinking. It does work quite wonderfully, actually, because it's been greased. Yeah, if I can get to that switch one more time. So, and even if I have to put up with that, I don't mind turning my wipers on and off. That's not even a big deal to me. I don't care about that. I'd like it to work right, because I got it all apart. I don't know if I can justify buying another wiper assembly, though, if I can't fix it. So, there you go. Alright, I went down south to Lexington because I wanted another transmission for this wiper. And the shafts on this one are considerably better. And I was looking for, one with a good motor and everything. He gave this one to me for $10, maybe 20. I think it was 20. And the motor, it said it was rusty, and I opened it up and it had a little rust in it, and I sprayed a little liquid wrench on it, and it makes a little noise, but it's okay. And I greased the but I just kind of opened this up and I just sprayed some grease in there to make it work. Anyways, I've got this wired up, and the hum is the battery charger. First click, nothing. Second click. Okay, so it works on the high speed, but it won't return. Okay, and then for $5 a piece, I also got 2 other switches. And both of these switches work on my original one and return it. Okay, it returns it. I don't know if maybe it's set there for a little while. Probably the original switch will also return it, and maybe it just set a little while. Anyways, what there is there's a rub-a-dub dolly doll life-saving ring inside. No, there's a there's a copper ring that goes inside there, and it has some contacts on it. And I think what we're going to have to do is clean or adjust or bend those contacts so they make a little bit. I don't really want to use this motor. I want to use the other one, but the transmission, the nice transmission, came with this motor. So we'll put the other motor on this one, but first we'll have to take the other motor off and open it up. I also want to meter these and see that on my first click that I've got it wired properly. Anyways, I've got 12 volts going in here. I've got the ground attached to the motor and to the wire. Okay, so we do have a ground. So the switch is grounded also, yeah. And there's a ground right here, which is a brown. And this first wire is either high speed or slow speed. and then this one next to it is either high speed or slow speed, and then the black wire is the power wire. Either or, if it worked, either or, you know, if you turned it on the slow speed, and if I had it backwards, it would work on high speed and vice versa. So provided that ring was right, but I have it wired up right. It says 53A and 53B and 53 and 31B, and it matches the switch. So it's pretty simple. There's just a power wire going into it, and it's grounded. So I've just kind of basically set the circuit up, and I'm just testing it. But like I said, all we get is this is just wide open train. So let's get that other one off, and we'll have a look at it and take it apart and see what we can't do. I need to meter this first to make sure we're getting power, but I'm pretty sure I am. Okay, I was wrong. I'm going to turn this on, and I want to show you. One click on, we'll ground, and we'll hit this purple wire. And if you watch the meter bounce, what that is that's a contact inside that's allowing it to return. Okay, so the black wire down here should be positive all the time, and it is. And then when we click this on, it should be high speed, and the high speed wire should be the yellow and black. And there's nothing, the motor's not doing anything, but as I touch it, there is 12 volts going to it. Okay, so our switch works, and there is 12 volts going to the motor, and we know the return works because it's oscillating on the meter. So, and we know it works too, because we can go. Okay, so we have it off. First click on, turn it off, and it returns itself, parks itself. So the only thing that that's not working is the high speed, which would be the yellow wire. So I'm going to take this motor off, take it apart, look at it, look at that contact ring and see what's going on. Probably one of the contacts isn't making contact, or there's a broken wire, or I missed something in there I didn't see very well. But this switch works perfect. That switch works perfect. This switch works very well. I don't know about the switch in the car yet. I think the switch in the car works too. Realistically, I don't think there's anything wrong with all three of switches. But I would like to make this work and have 2 speeds. That would be nice. Okay, so let's get into this. Alright, about the only thing I can do is there's some contacts on the underside of this gear, and I'm not going to take the gear off or anything like that. And here is the 53A contact. I made sure it didn't have anything underneath it, and I bent the contact down just a little bit. So I kind of bent all of them down a little bit to make them fit in there a little bit better. Looks like our wires are attached pretty good, and so I'm going to put this together. If I can get it to run and return, I'm done. I'm done, because I know what it is. It's inside the motor, and I'm okay with 1 speed.
It's happening. Publishers Clearinghouse is awarding a $2,500,000 mega prize in just days.
I can't get the fast to work, so I'm just going to have to do with 1 speed. It is what it is. Alright, in order to get that in there, the wiper switch, I come up with this little gizmo. It's just a vacuum tee, and I just ground on one side and the other side, and it has a couple little notches on there, and you can get that screw started on there. If you don't have a little tool to get it on there, I don't know how you would get it on. Also, if you didn't have the hood open or the radio out of it, I don't know how you would get it on there either, because the hood off or the radio out, I don't know. It would be impossible. Man, it would be a trip. Anyways, I've got my flasher switch, right there, and I've got that wired up. There's a ground that goes on it I haven't attached yet because my ashtray's got to go in. I did a little spiff on the over there, kind of clean things up a little bit. I'll clean it up a little more as we progress. Something I wanted to say, and I wish I had the book in front of me right now, but this green wire right here is for the wipers, okay? And it went on this. It went on this right here, and there's 3 of them. There'd be 3 of them piggyback total on this, which is a lot on this one circuit. And the book says it goes on this one. Now, the book also says, I look in a 69, that there is no green wire for the, so, and the green wire is for 70. So this is late 69 or 70, but the title says it is a 69, but it has a late wiring harness or 70 wiring harness, and it shows to go on in the book on the second terminal, second lug, second fuse, and it's on the first one, and I have no reason to believe that it has been molested in any way, so I don't know what to say there. Yeah. There's only a couple of molestations going on in this wiring, and one of them is the speaker wire has been kind of put together. So we'll fix that though. But anyways, I have those together. I have my wiper motor put together, my 1-speed wiper motor. That's the way it is going to have to be, I guess. I don't have money for another one. And I put a new hose on the washer deal. I just used 5/32. I think that's 5/32. And I drilled this out. It doesn't matter because when you drill this out and put this hose through, it's plenty tight. This will fit over that little the little nod on the bottle, and when you screw it, it'll seal it off, so it should be fine. There is a collar originally that goes on that one on the pressure side, and I used just a little spot tie and tightened it up, so it should be fine. I'm hoping all the stuff works. I hosed down my light switch with the with a little lubricant, and hopefully it'll work too. So, but you know, I'm going to give it a once over, and if stuff doesn't work, as long as I got maybe some brake lights, and I don't know, you know, and I can fudge my way up to the DMV, that's fine. But I'm going to just give it a once over for right now. So this is where I'm at. Okay, it's dark out. I'm going inside, and what are we going to work on next? Oh, we'll see if the radio plays. We'll work on that next. See if the radio plays. Wolfsburg's got my parts going, so set my parts so I can put these 3 deals in and start putting things together. Have seals and a whole bunch of other stuff too. So get all that in, and we can put our hoses and stuff in. So okay, all right. Also, I wanted to show you that the one on the right is a 517A, and the one on the left is a 517, with both part numbers the same, and part numbers on one on the front and the other one's on the back, but they are relatively the same pieces. This is the old one that come out of the 69. It was the original one, and oh, of course, so they're going to go like this. So, but they're exactly the same. The only difference is this one has a small escutcheon, has a small hole, and this one has the bigger hole. So this is 1 year only. This is first year, 1967. This is a 1967 part because it's a 12 volt, and that 8812 would denote it to be 12 volts. This is 69 and up or whatever, 68 and 69 or 70, whatever, and it's for the padded dash. See, so yeah, that's stuff I was dealing with that car. Yeah, so cool. That's what I was trying to tell you, is this is for 67. It's very rare and dear, and I got it for $5. So the other one was, there were two, it was a special sale, 2 for $10. That one works, but for some reason it doesn't return. The new one I got in there returns, so I have 1 speed and a return. Next is our radio, and I've taken the top off, and it's very difficult to turn, so I put a little drop of urethane, lubricant everywhere on the shaft and on some of these components. Now, it wouldn't even, the dial wouldn't turn, or the mechanism wouldn't turn. You know, this mechanism here, it wouldn't turn. And now I'm getting it to move, and it moves okay. Okay, and so I'm going to spray a little bit of little lubricant on these down in there, and work them. And I'm going to spray some down in the switch and work it so it's yeah. And then we'll kind of dry it all out and clean it all up, and we'll see if it works or catches on fire. Ha! This white wire plugs into the light in the back of the dash on the dial speedometer, and when you turn the lights on, it turns the light on in the there it is, the light on in the radio. Got a buzz, probably because, well, it's AM, and because I'm running it on a battery charger.
Evolution.
Please feel about them because of all the injuries. How would
Sean Hannity. Sean Hannity Show. More behind the
So I sprayed that, and it's not making any more crickling noise.
inspired.
All right, glad you're with us.
light, clean, Bud Light Seltzer? And let's bring our contestant here. It is Jason. Jason, how you doing?
Let's see what I can do here.
Good, how you doing?
Good, my man. Appreciate you calling in. Congratulations on getting
There we
in.
go.
I hope you win a truck.
Then, you know, the dirt.
Well, that's pretty good. I call that a win. I have it running on that speaker right there. I just hooked it up in the car with 12 volts, and it didn't work. So I'm thinking probably the speaker's bad in the car. Anyways, okay. I'm going to stop this now because I've come to a conclusion. I've come to a understanding. Gee, I can put the chassis underneath this now. It just didn't hit me. And it doesn't matter whether or not I have the hood on or not. I can put the chassis underneath it. And if I can put the chassis underneath it, that means I can get this thing out of it. I can take my doors off. I can start repairing the welds. Yeah. Let's get the chassis on it next. Let's do it. Okay, well, that's where I am right now. Haven't put any power to anything. That's another thing too, is I can put power. I can put real power to this, and yeah, and have this open like this with no hood on it. Yeah, yeah. It's not really a race to the DMV. It's a race to get it out of my garage so I can put that in here before winter really hits. That's my bread and butter. Everything in there is my bread and butter, so I have to protect it. I don't like having it outside. So, and this is just taking up room in here. Doesn't necessarily need to be here. Anyways, thanks for wrenching with me, and I wish I had my parts from Wolfsburg. I haven't seen them yet. They said they shipped. I should have them either today or tomorrow. So, well, let's get the chassis underneath this. Next video. Have a good one. Be careful and stay safe.